Are you ready?
Agility from the champion.
Oh, deep
six! That could be it. Delivered this deep six.
This is episode 144. I am joined by Brandon, aka Bash. Brandon, how you doing, man?
Oh, we are good. I know that we are not, or at least I know that the aftermath is associated with AEW. I will at least say before we start, oh my God, Revolution on Sunday night was fantastic. I finally got a chance to watch. My dad's big into AEW, so he lives in the Bronx, but came out to come see me and my brother, and we watched together at Dave and Buster's. I'm telling you now, I'm off tomorrow. I will be glued to the television at 7:59, ready for AEW tomorrow to see if they can keep that energy going, because that was great. How you doing, sir?
Good. To your point, I saw a couple things going on with AEW. I didn't watch the whole thing. I will watch it this week, though. Just been a hectic time in my life right now, but I heard that AEW knocked it out of the park. So, we got a special appearance.
Yeah, Chandler's been chilling the last few weeks, and
Aftermath Chandler, how you doing?
He's a good boy. He's just gonna have to go somewhere. I'll cuddle you later. Give me a second.
Those of you guys that are watching, thank you so much for hopping on. We got a huge show coming up in just a moment. We're gonna be talking over Femi and Lesnar promo. But first, those of you guys that are watching, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. We are on the road to WrestleMania, and we are 31 days away, which means I am 28 days away from flying out of here to Las Vegas from JFK Airport, and I cannot wait. I can't believe we are less than 1 month away, and tomorrow we're exactly 30 days away from WrestleMania 42.
It's funny.
What is shaping up?
No,
It's taking its shape.
I was just talking to my coworker, and we were talking about last year's Mania and the year prior, and I was like, wait, it has been 2 years since you went to Philly to see that one and everything. That feels like it was just yesterday. Crazy that we're the 2 WrestleManias removed from Philly and the freezing cold night. Last year's was, but that one was pretty dang good.
Yeah, like this year, I think we're gonna have a pretty good show.
Mm-hmm.
And the closer we get to WrestleMania, we'll be talking even more and more about it. I cannot wait. We're on the road to WrestleMania. The cog is moving. The storylines are moving. So, we have to start this show off hot. And we are going to jump right in and talk about the first segment of the night. So we see Seth Rollins coming out on a Monday Night Raw. Yeah, we see him cutting his promo. I created the Vision, and I will kill the Vision, he says. Which is kind of like a little weird, because you can't kill people in wrestling, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But this is what he said. He said he's going to kill the Vision. And if you stand next to Paul Heyman, consider yourself marked for dead. Paul Heyman comes out, and he looks like he hasn't slept. His tie is undone. His eyes are red, beaten, battered, and bruised. I honestly thought he was going to be out a little bit longer than this, but Paul Heyman comes out, and he summons Brock Lesnar. So up to this point, what did you think? What was going through your head?
As soon as I knew Brock was going to be here, I figured that you were going to get a disheveled Paul Heyman. And as soon as they started with Seth, I'm like, no, Paul Heyman's coming out for something. But I remember last week we had spoken about that vividly, where I had said that there's a chance. Sorry, red on a major road. There's a chance that we see Seth versus Brock if Seth is cleared. So that's where I was like, wait, there's one more Paul Heyman guy we haven't spoken on yet. So the Brock versus Seth for about 30 seconds looked pretty possible.
I was getting nervous at this point. I was just like, even before, like, even like the last week or two. I mean, with knowing that Paul Heyman got stomped out by Seth Rollins, like, I was a little nervous that WWE was going to go in this direction of Brock, Seth Rollins. And would it have made sense? Yeah, but do people necessarily want to see Brock Lesnar and Seth Rollins happen again? No, not really. I wasn't looking forward to really seeing that, but it looks like WWE was setting up this match of Brock Lesnar, Seth Rollins. It has been noted that Seth Rollins is not going to be cleared until around WrestleMania time, until maybe just after Mania, which could be hope for a possible Braun Breaker versus Seth Rollins if Braun Breaker could get healthy in time, which I don't think is going to happen, but you never know.
I think with Backlash, that 2 to 3 weeks after, I think that I think Seth, if he's cleared, we should see Seth versus somebody in the Vision, and it'll start like the trickle down effect of maybe he'll take Logan Paul out of the Vision. Then you get Braun to come back, and Bronson Reed's able to come back, and then you get Seth versus Reed, and then leading up into a Braun versus Seth whenever he is cleared, because I still think by the math, he probably won't be cleared until June or July.
I'm led to believe that that's probably the case. We won't see Braun until the early part of the summertime. But and anyway, the original plan was Braun Breaker, Seth Rollins, probably at or after WrestleMania. Anyway, so at a certain point, WWE is going to get right back on track with that. But all of a sudden, so let's break it down a little bit. Brock Lesnar had come to the ring. He clears out all the masked men. A couple of them managed to run away without getting touched, but he basically destroyed them all. And then you're left with Seth Rollins and Brock Lesnar in the ring when all of a sudden...
Oba. I love
Oba Femi's music hits, and I started to mark out because this is what the fans have been calling for a number of weeks. We've been talking about this for a number of weeks, that Oba Femi should be the guy to face Brock Lesnar, to win at WrestleMania, and to get that push for the rest of this year to a title match. We've been talking about this for weeks. We've even put it on our top 5. You can go back. We talked about it 1 month ago.
Mm-hmm.
So we get Oba Femi in the ring, staring down Brock Lesnar, and you see Seth Rollins moving closer to Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar is distracted for 1 second. You see Seth Rollins dip out, and as Brock Lesnar moves towards Oba Femi, we get the sit-down power bomb heard around the world. Man, did Oba Femi get Brock Lesnar up in the air.
Oh, yeah.
Sat him down with the power bomb. What a moment. And then you see Oba Femi do his little pose. And then he steps on Brock Lesnar.
Yep. Pointed
he steps
right
on
at
Brock
the...
Lesnar like he just conquered. Like he just conquered him. And points at the sign at WrestleMania. What a moment this was for Oba Femi. A great moment on Raw. What did you think of this part as everything was all happening?
So two or three big points that on this one. The first one is the name of it being the Fall from Grace, and being able to just annihilate Brock Lesnar in one move and make him roll out all, after taking out 12 guys, he looked dead. That's a great point to be like, no, this guy can actually really hurt Brock if he wants to. 2, Michael Cole dropping the holy shit. Normally he's able to save himself, or you'll hear him drop a son of a bitch here and there, but like him to really get the holy shit out. I don't think I've ever actually heard him drop it. He always saves himself. So that was really cool, even though they had to censor it. And the
It
third,
wasn't censored on Facebook.
oh, okay, we love that. And then the third, the Who after the Oba chant. Did you hear that?
Yes.
That sounded like like 3 times louder than the Oba. That was insane. I don't think I've ever heard a crowd that loud coming through the TV. Like that was insane. So as you've said a few times with a few different superstars, Oba is absolutely the one to strap a rocket on and send him straight to the stratosphere, to the moon, to the next planet. I don't know. Dude is electric.
Oh, absolutely. He's got it. He's got the charisma. He's got the size. He's got the look. And he can work in the ring. He's only 27, too. Maybe 28 at most. So he's basically not even in the middle of his prime yet. And this guy puts up Brock Lesnar in the air and gives him a fall from grace sound, which sounded, you could hear it from around the world. The slam heard around the world.
The slam hurt. He is in fact 28 years old. No, I'm sorry. He is 27 and he is about to be 28. His birthday is actually 2 days after WrestleMania. So he's going to have a hopeful birthday win for himself.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
He is 6 months older than me, and he is a foot taller and 150 pounds bigger. So, yeah, that's pretty crazy to be only 6 months older than me. 6'6", 310, and Brock is listed about 6'4", 285. It depends on the week.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's gonna have 2 inches and 25 pounds, give or take, on him. So. We got two meaty men slapping meat, but can't wait for that one, as Big E would say.
But I am excited for this match. Brock Lesnar made this guy in 60 seconds.
Yeah.
Made.
Mm-hmm.
He was already on his way being made. But last night, that 60-second interval of their interaction with Oba and Brock Lesnar made Oba Femi.
Yeah, no question. I mean, the Royal Rumble, him being in for as long as he was, going up against Brock as well, that was pretty crazy. But yeah, like you said, it literally took him coming out, slamming Brock, and a star is born.
According to Sean Ross Sapp, Brock Lesnar is apparently on a Pass the Torch tour right now. But that doesn't mean he's going to be just losing to everybody. I think he's going to be very selective in who he puts over on his way out.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So Raw started off very hype. And I guess most would agree that this segment alone basically carried the rest of Raw. It was probably the biggest talking point of the night.
Mm-hmm.
But moving on, we had Grande Americano versus the OG Grande, and El Grande wins the El Grande Americano 2. He wins. Bravo inserts steel in El Grande's mask, and the OG Americano, aka Chad Gable, does the flying headbutt and gets knocked out as he connects with El Grande Americano on the mat. Gable's knocked out. El Grande gets the win here. I believe we haven't seen the end of this. It's just a regular one-on-one match. I don't believe we've seen the end of this, as El Grande Americano cheated against OG Americano. Quite possibly we're getting mask versus mask at Mania, I would think. But we talked about this a little bit last week. Any updated thoughts with this feud going on right now?
Nah, I figured it was going to be a BS ending that would result in, like you said, an advancement of the storyline versus an ending to the storyline. So yeah, I'm thinking we're still on pace for mask versus mask. Um, Probably something along the lines of Ryo and Bravo aren't allowed ringside or something like that. Something along those means where it's real mask versus mask, one on one. And yeah, we'll see. The Ludwig Americano, whatever you want to call him. I don't know. I'm starting, as I said last week, I'm starting to get a little bit over this whole mask thing and everything. You have two luchadors that aren't luchadors, and it's kind of, you have some great Mexican wrestlers in the WWE right now, and now you're starting to kind of deface the name of luchadors by having an American Chad Gable and a European Ludwig taking this on. And then you had, and we'll talk about it soon, the Penta versus Dragon Lee match was, I mean, the future versus the present, basically, like a crazy match. So yeah, I think we're gonna see both masks removed at WrestleMania. But yeah, because even at the end of the match too, nobody really knew how to felt, like how to feel. You heard the crowd was very lackluster during the whole match. They didn't know who to boo, who to cheer. It was just all over the place. So I think we're gonna see the end at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I mean, it couldn't hurt.
Yeah.
But moving on, we had a promo from Liv Morgan addressing Finn Balor. Finn Balor was not on Raw tonight, aka selling the injuries. Dominic Mysterio was not on Raw either, as he had defended his title the other night successfully against Vikingo. As a result, Dominic Mysterio beats Vikingo. Vikingo can no longer challenge for the AAA Mega Championship. So, but the rumor has it that Vikingo is going to head to NXT, which would make sense.
Mm-hmm. Nah, that'd be a great move for him.
Yeah, Vikingo is just a heck of a worker too, so it's gonna be exciting to see. But moving on. Um, so basically, Liv Morgan, a couple of points she's talking about. She's saying that this was her plan since she joined Judgment Day. It's been a pleasure, she says, to see Finn Balor fall from grace. And basically, she also says that Finn Balor got soft, and it was making her sick to call him family.
Mm.
And basically, Liv Morgan also goes on to say that we took a play right out of your playbook, and that we are on to bigger and better things as JD is going to soar. Mentions how Dominic will get his IC title back. Raquel Rodriguez will one day be a champion again, and that Liv will win her title by beating Stephanie Vaquer at WrestleMania. So, very good promo here. What did you guys think of this? What did you think of this before we move on?
Yeah, I I want to say I expected it. I felt like that was the right thing to do, is kind of because we saw that Liv and Finn, not that they didn't get together, like, get along together, but you saw that there were those little moments where they would keep the camera on Liv for an extra second or two after her and Finn would talk. So now it's smart to kind of put the onus on him, or sorry, the onus on her, to put the blame on him that he got soft. We needed to cut ties. We needed to get rid of the weak link. And now it's a new Judgment Day, as we spoke on last time, where there isn't a single original member in the Judgment Day now. So made sense that the takeover happens now, and we should get Dom versus Finn at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I would say that that is more than likely where we're headed. Some people have talked about, Dominic says he wants to get his IC title back, so there could be a return match there. They could do it in the fashion of a multi-man Intercontinental title match, but At, as of now, it makes the most sense for Dominic to face Finn Balor. Maybe Dominic wins back the IC title in Boston or New York City. And those two shows are up within the next 2 weeks. We got Boston next week, and the week after is going to be New York City.
Mhm.
But it's very possible that Dominic could maybe get a belt back there. And then when we get to Dominic versus Finn, that'd be for the IC title. But I'm not really counting on that to happen. But it could. And I don't know if this is the moment where you introduce the Demon for WrestleMania.
Ooh.
I don't know if you do it. You could, but when you're facing a guy like Dominic, do you really need to dress up your persona as the Demon?
True.
But it is WrestleMania. He could go there if he wants. You know? For WrestleMania, people like to go above and beyond as far as their costumes and their face paints and all that stuff. Like to introduce, so they could bring he could bring that back. So we'll have to see. But for those of you guys that are watching, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Help us out, get the word. Feel free to drop a comment here. We want to know what you guys thought of WWE Monday Night Raw. So, moving on. We had a pretty good Intercontinental title match. Bayley versus AJ Lee. AJ Lee defending Intercontinental title against Bayley. AJ Lee controlling much of the beginning of the match. She wins, defeats Bayley with the Black Widow. After the match, Becky jumps a tired AJ Lee after AJ had defeated Bayley that is. Becky knocks out AJ with the title belt, standing tall with AJ's belt. So, what did you think of the match and the aftermath, no pun intended, to this match?
Yeah, I think AJ's moving pretty good after years removed. Still looks okay. Definitely a couple of misses here and there. But it's to be expected, and she held her own. So good to see AJ have a title defense under her belt versus it just being a one and done. And now basically looks like we get Becky versus AJ either next week, the week after, or at WrestleMania, or both. Who knows?
Yeah, it's looking like that. And, this could even be a possibility, too. Another title match that could be a multi-woman match. They very well could do something like that, as AJ Lee has crossed paths with a number of different female talent recently, not to mention that there was a six-pack challenge, a gauntlet match rather, to see who would get a title match with AJ Lee. So they could revisit that, maybe get Lyra Valkyria in there, Becky, Bayley, just a couple different stars. So at some point, I'm expecting a multi-person match for a title. I'm just not too sure which match is gonna get it, but yeah, Becky stands tall. I don't expect AJ Lee to hold the belt past WrestleMania. In my estimation, I think Becky Lynch will win back her Intercontinental title. But then again, by the time WrestleMania rolls around, AJ Lee will still kind of be in the middle of a short run, and you can still stack her up against a few more opponents before you really take the belt off her.
Mm-hmm.
So you can really put her against a couple more opponents still. But yeah, what do you think that? What do you think the payoff is going to be with at WrestleMania? Do you think we're going to get Becky winning? Do you think AJ retains?
I feel like you could put AJ back on the shelf after this for a little bit. So not on the shelf, like injured. Hopefully not. Just put it on the back burner. Maybe we even get another match Backlash. It's just so much. It's tough because you basically only have 3 of them right now. So I don't know. I guess, I mean, we'll talk a little bit more at the end of what happened with Bayley. But yeah, it seems like Becky probably. You know what? No, I think AJ keeps it because now Becky has the belt curse. She touched and held and stole the belt, and you know me and my belt curse. So yeah, I think AJ might actually retain and then lose it at Backlash. That would be my official guess.
I mean, that sounds right. We'll see. And Backlash is only 3 weeks after WrestleMania.
Right. That's usually how it
So
is.
comes quick, comes really quick this year. But and we had following this, we had Penta defending the IC title against Dragon Lee, and let me tell you, this was a banger
Yep.
of a match. This was a fun match. How about you break this down really quick to the best of your ability here?
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of kicks to start between both men, face kicks, body kicks, drop kicks, you name it. Um, we had a flip on the outside and then another flip right after. Few cross bodies, and then the corkscrew dive through the ropes was insane, right onto the table by Dragon Lee. Figured like Dragon Lee was gonna take this away as he hits the Operation Dragon. Skin of the teeth, though, Penta's able to kick out. Right as they stand up off the ropes, a Mexican destroyer, and Penta not steals the win, but like I said, Dragon Lee hit two incredible moves, including his finisher to end the match, but wasn't enough against Zero Miedo, and Penta retains.
Yeah, and I loved the show of sportsmanship here with Penta holding up Dragon Lee's arms.
Mm-hmm.
That was definitely a good moment, great match, a lot of close finishes in this match too.
Yeah.
So, and then we had a quick segment with Paul Heyman backstage with the Vision and says that they need to focus. They need to shift their focus on the Usos and get the tag titles. We were saying this about a week ago,
Mm-hmm.
or two rather, that for the Vision to be relevant at this point, since it's just the two guys, you can keep them relevant by making them as tag team champions.
Right.
You got to do it.
Oh yeah. No
What are you
question.
doing with the Vision after this? You're gonna have Braun Breaker. He's gonna be in the world title scene, and possibly Bronson Reed. For the mid card title. You would think you got to have the Vision win the tag titles. You can definitely keep pushing the Vision. Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed, they're gonna be back within a couple months. They're not gonna be long, and then
Mm-hmm.
before you know it, you got the Vision back together like nothing even ever happened.
Yeah, absolutely. I like you said, we definitely predicted it. I'm just more surprised that they're actually doing a non-title match next week, just to you know, well, basically
Yeah,
have it a month after is kind of strange, but
I'm okay with this because if Austin and Logan Paul win, then that gives them an excuse. Well, we beat you guys once, we can beat you again, but this time for the tag titles.
true. Okay, that makes
So
sense.
wins are important because wins can be a reason why is a good reason why you can give somebody a tag title match or any type of title match. Doesn't make sense for a single star or team to continue losing and all of a sudden they're awarded title shots because they tapped somebody.
True,
I don't
true.
like that. I like to see people earn their way up to a title match and essentially maybe a title win. Austin Theory and Logan Paul are due. Give them the belts. Start making them in the meantime. And then not long thereafter, you'll have Braun and Bronson Reed, and then the Division will be back together like nothing ever happened.
And we'll see what Seth wants to do about killing the Vision if that's the case.
Yeah, so this is where I'm led to believe that somebody else could essentially join or align with them to prevent that from happening. Maybe Seth Rollins cost them the belts,
Mm-hmm.
egging on Braun Breaker to come back and go after Seth Rollins once again.
I
So
like
we'll
it.
see. That could feed into that storyline. Natty versus Maxine Dupree. This wasn't really much of a match here. Maxine taps out to the sharpshooter. Later on, we see Maxine backstage talking to Austin Theory, and Logan Paul was right there.
Hmm.
Maxine, you saw that right in the background. Maxine
Yeah,
is on the
very strange.
ground with their feet up, talking to Austin Theory. I love when they drop all these like background nuggets, hints. So we
Hmm.
see that while Bailey and Lyra Valkyria are yelling at each other. You
Yeah,
want to talk about that conversation really quick?
yeah, no problem. So, basically, after Lyra said, "Stop shouting at me, just stop yelling at me," she said that you deserve to be at WrestleMania, and I want to be at WrestleMania. I deserve it too. So I'm gonna make sure that you get to WrestleMania slash we get to WrestleMania. So that was cool, basically saying, "Hey, we're a team now. Like, screw this single stuff we were trying to do. Let's come back." And then Asuka comes up and basically says, "Hey, I will never forget that you guys are the reason that I didn't either get the Intercontinental Championship match or the belt in general because I could have beaten AJ Lee today. So screw you guys, and you guys aren't ready for Asuka." And Bailey's like, "What did they say?" Or no, sorry. Lyra said, "What did they say?" Bailey said, "They're basically going for the tag team belts." And then they said, "All right, I think we need to go talk to Adam Pierce." So sounds like we're gonna get the Kabuki Warriors versus Lyra and Bailey next week, and that should be whoever takes on Lash Legend and Naya.
Well, yeah. Well, not to mention, Lash Legend and Nia Jax are the women's tag team championship holders. But not to mention, you also got Charlotte and Alexa Bliss there in the background too, as well.
Mm-hmm.
I could fully expect this to be a four-way for sure for the tag titles. I can somehow see them integrated just to get everybody involved. Because
Yeah,
if you just have Bailey and Lyra go, one on one with one set of tag teams, then you're losing spots like Charlotte and Alexa aren't going to have a spot. Then other tag teams that have worked hard all year round that deserve to be on the main stage of Mania. So I think you gotta include as many as possible here, and I think this is where you do a four way for the um, women's tag titles.
yeah, it's probably the best move.
So, Randy Orton was supposed to give Michael Cole an interview, and then he changed his mind. But there was this one punchline that he said. He goes on to say that he is a killer, and that wrestling has more than one royal family. So, basically, alluding to himself and his dad, Cowboy Bob Orton, and probably his granddad, if I had to think.
Oh yeah, he's apparently four generations. That I didn't even know.
I need an explanation from Randy Orton as to what he did
Yeah,
on SmackDown. And we'll revisit that in a second to close out the show. But I need an explanation there. But and after that, we see Javon Evans turn down Kofi Kingston's offer from last week to join them, to be mentored by New Day. Javon Evans doesn't want any part of it. This could be leading to a future one-on-one match with Kofi Kingston, maybe at Mania too.
hmm
So
and then our favorite painted face shows up.
yes,
The Danhausen basically is like, "Oh, it looks like you're looking for somebody new to join the New Day. How about Danhausen?" What did he say? So he brought up the bootios with teeth marshmallows. I'm like, yes, that's fantastic. And he said, "Yo, that was a decade ago. What you talking about?" He said, "Oh, you don't want Danhausen to join the New Day? Well, you are cursed." But Kofi dragged Grayson in front of the curse. So who's actually cursed? We shall find out as time goes.
that is funny. That
So
is funny.
we love the painted man. He is fantastic.
We got Stephanie Valkyria versus Raquel Gonzalez. This match is simply to help progress the storyline between Stephanie Vaquer and Liv Morgan. But during the match, we see Io come out, but she gets taken out by Raquel, and she's like pounced and shoved over the announce table. Stephanie takes out Raquel and Liv. Um, and then we see Raquel go for the Tejada bomb as if she was about to wrap up the match, but then Stephanie turns it into a pinfall for the win. Raquel Gonzalez is not happy. Stephanie is the victor here, and during the match we saw Liv Morgan didn't really get. She got a little bit involved, but talking trash to Stephanie Vaquer, saying she's going to win at WrestleMania. Do you feel that Liv Morgan's got the momentum enough to win at WrestleMania 42?
I could see it. I could see it. The main reason that I could is Liv hasn't held a lot, and it could really stir some more animosity in the New Day after now kicking out Finn. We haven't seen Roxanne in who knows how long, if she's going to be back anytime soon. And
Also, Roxanne's due back very soon.
okay, good.
Yeah,
And so she could come back. Exactly. And obviously Raquel has been trying to get the belt multiple times. She's gone up against Vaquer for 5 times now. Went for the belt 2 of those 5. So it's like, yeah, it might be time for her to get her lick back, like maybe she can't get the belt from Vaquer, but she can get it off of Liv just fine and betray her. So yeah, I could see them give the belt to Liv just for a little bit of that drama that WWE loves to play into.
I wouldn't be surprised if Raquel turns on Liv the night after Raw.
Yeah.
Or at some point. Like I think that's happening sometime this year.
Yeah, I could see that.
They have dropped little subtle nuggets of dissension between even Raquel and Liv Morgan. With Liv Morgan, who inadvertently distracted the referee in some of Raquel's matches, which backfired on Raquel from winning the title a couple times. So they've already planted the seeds there. But then we had the let me just make sure I covered everything else mostly that I wanted to cover tonight. So then we had the Roman Reigns versus CM Punk program here.
Mm-hmm.
So, honestly, this wasn't really their best work.
I'm just...
And then
Go for it.
The punchline at the end from Roman Reigns. You're old.
You're old. Punch in the face.
Punches him in the face, knocks him down. Oh. Take you through this. What did you think of this?
It's first off, you had it. Just take it back to the wrestling point, right? You had a Grande Americano versus the real Grande Americano, whatever you want to call it, right?
Yeah.
Then you get, and that ended in a cheating with a roll up. Then you get Maxine versus Natalia Natty, which is a 3-minute and ended up in submission nonsense. We've already seen them face 3 times now. Then you get Vaquer versus Raquel, 3 minutes. 10-minute match, but it's happened, like I said, 5 times. And then you had at least a good match in Penta versus Dragon Lee. And then we had Oba. But I'm saying, like, what are we doing when we're having wrestling? You're supposed to watch wrestling for the matches. And now we have a 15-minute, sorry for my language, but it's the only way I can describe it, a dick measuring contest. You did this for 15, almost, it was 20 minutes with the walkouts, it was 20 minutes to end your show. And like you said, it was a lackluster promo at best, where Roman's basically saying, look, everything you said, I've already heard, either from The people on Twitter, the people on Facebook, you and you're a redundant piece of shit who keeps saying all the same stuff. So let's get some new material. Sounded like it was the end of 8 Mile, the rap battle. So you've been saying the same thing that he said, only he's saying the same thing he's been saying for years now. So I at least was on that. And then basically it was just a chant off of who likes Punk more and who likes Roman more. You had OTC, CM Punk, Roman Reigns. It was just so, like I said, a 15-minute dick measuring contest for nothing. For nothing but a punch in the face. And then Roman smiled at the end. He was like, this is who you are. I wanted to show the people what you're really like. So, just so strange to me.
I am surprised that we have not yet gotten Roman Reigns to bring up CM Punk's dog, Larry.
Yeah.
I love dogs. Don't get me wrong, whoever's listening to this. But Larry's kind of like one of the ugliest dogs I've ever seen. But again, it's a precious, life, animal life. And anyway, and that meant a lot to CM Punk and AJ Lee.
Mm-hmm.
I may have to even edit that part out when I do this anyway.
No, people understand. Sometimes, like you said,
Anyway.
a precious life, but yeah, that wasn't the best looking dog.
Yeah, no, not by any means. But I'm surprised Roman Reigns hasn't gone there and talked about Larry, who means the world to CM Punk. I would have brought up Larry.
That'll happen eventually.
I would have brought up Larry in this point. Maybe they're saving this as like the last punchline before Mania. Maybe Roman Reigns comes out with a Larry T-shirt.
That would be great. That would be great. I think
How
that's
has
the way to
not
do it.
brought
Like you
Larry
said, the
into
the
this?
Larry, that would be awesome.
I would say you can still do it, but then let it lead to one last brawl before Mania. You got time.
Right.
You got time. So I would say right before Mania, the last Raw, have Roman bring up Larry, and then that just leads to an all-out brawl.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And we still don't know the Usos' feeling on everything because obviously Punk never apologized.
No, I'm just assuming that somehow the Usos are gonna cost Punk the match.
Yeah. And then we had LA Knight in the background. We didn't speak much of that, but LA was like, look, I ain't letting you guys become the bloodline of old because I had a problem with the bloodline of old. I mess with you two when Roman ain't around, y'all are cool. But the second that you become Roman's, bag carriers is when we're gonna have a problem. So we good? Jimmy gave him the knuckles. Jay was like, nah, we ain't good. So I guess we'll see the turnaround on that in the next month as well.
Yeah, I'm wondering to see if who stays face, who stays heel, and all this, especially between Roman Reigns and Punk. What they're gonna do with Usos, what's gonna happen with LA Knight, who is he gonna align with? I mean, WrestleMania is in 4 weeks. And there's still plenty of time for that to take shape, and not for nothing, there's still plenty of time for more matches to be added here. So basically, last night's Raw basically added about 2, potentially 3 matches. I would say they added 2 matches, but there's at least 2 more matches brewing that are going to be solidified soon. The Grande Americano, AJ Lee and Becky. You figure that's going to happen. The women's tag titles. So they basically planted the seeds for 3 more matches at least to be added for one of the nights. So
Yeah.
but
Obviously Brock versus Oba. That
Brock versus
we didn't speak
Oklahoma.
about it.
I cannot wait.
That was made official
Yes.
about 30 minutes before the show had ended. So that is going to happen. I think that's all we have. And then next week, like I said, is going to be Usos versus the two standing members of the Vision right now. So we'll see how that goes. I don't think there was anything else planned for next week.
Well, Lesnar's gonna be back.
Okay.
He will be on Raw, and you gotta believe he's gonna be fuming. Um, but that's gonna happen. I did not. And then the Usos versus Division, non-title match. So we got that on deck so far. I would imagine more matches will be added as we get closer because this show is gonna be in Boston, so expect that to be a good show. Roman Reigns should be there. Lesnar will definitely be there. Punk's gonna be there. So
Yeah.
Alba's
Ooh,
gonna be there.
that's gonna be weird too, because now you're gonna have Seth probably helping out the Usos, but then where do we go from there? That's my guess. Is Seth is gonna help out the Usos, but then maybe Seth versus LA Knight. No, that doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. Because now who does LA Knight go up against?
I really don't know. I really do not know what's in store for LA Knight right now. He may run interference.
Yeah, that might be the move.
He may just run interference. He may not even have a match, to be honest.
I guess we'll see. There's another month of planning and wrestling to be had.
Yeah, because you got the Boston show next week, and then the week after is the Madison Square Garden show. And then basically 2 more Raws after that. So
Wow.
we are getting closer and closer. One last thing to talk about before we go off the air, but before I do, for those of you guys that are watching, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button down below. Feel free to comment, share with your friends and family. Post this. This would help us out. Hit that subscribe button right there in the bottom. But now we're going to talk really quick about Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, of basically what happened this past Friday on SmackDown. The shocking turn. I mean, really, should I really be shocked in a way? I mean, how many times have we seen Randy Orton go from heel to face?
Mm-hmm.
We know Randy Orton, and we've known his past in his wrestling career. He turns heel once again. That was some heel turn, and he beat the daylights out of Cody Rhodes. Left Cody Rhodes a bloody mess. Cody Rhodes can barely carry himself back stage. So we get Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton. I am looking forward to the banter that we're going to get between Cody and Randy Orton.
Yeah, I think that might be a little bit better than Roman and CM Punk. We will definitely see how that one goes.
I honestly think Cody and Randy had the potential to be a better program than Punk versus Roman. However, Punk and Roman started out very hot, but there's just when that promo first happened, like the night after the Rumble, we still had another 8 weeks till Mania. There's only so much you can do in a program with those two guys.
Yeah.
In that amount of length of time.
Yeah. That's the tough thing. This year there's one of animosity and real beef, and then the other is created beef where I made you. You're one of the few reasons, or I'm one of the few reasons that you've done so well in this industry. Yes, you had your father, but he didn't teach you anything. You ran away for years. So Randy could definitely drop some real truth bombs on Cody and make him feel some type of way.
Yeah, so I am most looking forward to see. I don't even think we even have Cody on Rhodes or should have Cody on SmackDown just to sell the injury from last week. But I do think that we have Randy Orton help progress the storyline along in Cody's absence and have him have a segment to explain why he did what he did to Cody Rhodes.
Also, why was the quality so terrible in that interview video?
Yeah, because I think it was like done backstage, shot with his cell phone, or it's just just a video that he made for Michael Cole, or whatever.
But like when they used to do like the live, or they used to do all those, it's a regular camera. So I don't know. I don't know. That was weird.
Yeah,
That was
it
definitely
wasn't
strange.
great.
But I think we get to see Cowboy Bob Orton for a random comeback.
Yeah, no, it's very possible, but here is what people are not talking about. And I feel like we can even do this alone could be a separate show and get a crazy amount of views. But this is what people aren't talking about. I mean, yeah, they may get Cowboy Bob involved, however, and it seems like that was hinted to. But I think there is a potential that they can go in a different direction. Nobody's talking about it. Not one wrestling podcast is talking about what I'm going to mention right now as a possibility of what could happen at WrestleMania between Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton. Jelly roll.
Yes.
Jelly roll. Randy Orton, Jelly roll got in Randy Orton's face. Randy Orton pushed him down. Didn't hurt him. Didn't do the RKO. Just kind of shoved him out of the way. And then after the fact where Cody Rhodes was laying helpless and Randy Orton was done beating the living crap out of Cody Rhodes, we see Jelly Roll by Cody Rhodes' side with compassion, trying to help him up. But what if we get Jelly Roll in the corner of Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania, Cowboy Bob Orton in the corner of Randy Orton in this title match, and Jelly Roll turns on Cody Rhodes, costing Cody Rhodes the title, and Randy Orton is your winner with Cowboy Bob Orton and Jelly Roll holding up Randy Orton's hands in victory.
I would like to see that. That'd be pretty cool.
I can see this happening. Not one wrestling podcast is talking about it right now. Not one. We're the only ones that could potentially see it coming. Now, the only reason why that this probably could not be happening is that it would be somewhat of a copy and paste from last year's Mania when Travis Scott interfered with Cena Cody. However, Travis Scott was already against Cody Rhodes and on the side of Cena when Travis Scott came in and interfered. So this one would be a little bit different because Jelly Roll will be the one turning on Cody Rhodes. I'm expecting Jelly Roll to shock the world and turn on Cody Rhodes and help out heel Randy Orton win his 15th championship.
Nah, that'd be pretty wild. I did, however, see talks that apparently they're trying, and I'm looking now because I thought I read this. They want to get Jelly Roll and Royce Keys against The Miz and Kit Wilson. I don't know why.
So, in my opinion, that's IWC chatter, and I think it would be absolutely horrible to do that. I think you need Jelly Roll in a bigger spot than that. But it is very well possible that you could have Jelly Roll in a match one night, and then have Jelly Roll come out with Cody Rhodes the next night.
Yeah.
But that would only work, too, is if Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton's on night 2, have Jelly Roll have his match, teaming with Royce Keys. Everything goes well. Royce Keys and Jelly Roll wins, and then the next night, Jelly Roll turns heel. That's the way you would do it there. There have been rumors, but we have not seen Royce Keys on TV once.
Also true.
He's been on Stephanie's podcast. He's been on Main Event. Or so, I think. So, why are we going to bring Royce Keys out now? At this point, have Royce Keys come out after WrestleMania. I wouldn't even do it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even do it. Royce Keys should have been featured immediately after Royal Rumble in Saudi Arabia. Yeah, I wouldn't do it. It's not what I want to see, to be honest with you. But that is IWC chatter that has not been confirmed by anybody reliable that I've noticed. If they do it, let's see how they get there.
Hmm.
So, Royce Keys could show up on a SmackDown, kind of just chilling ringside, and that's how maybe you could drag him into a match.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking right now, Jelly Roll is going to turn on Cody Rhodes and shock the world. This will be talked about all over the world on every mainstream news channel. I promise you that. ESPN, ABC, NBC, Fox, Fox News, CNN, News Nation, Newsmax, whatever type of news channel you watch, Jelly Roll will definitely make that headline if that happens. That's my bold prediction right now. Nobody's talking about it. I can see it coming. I can see it coming.
Yeah. Huh. I
Nobody's
guess we
talking
shall
about it.
find out. I guess we're the ones that talk about it.
As we come for landing, Brandon, do you have any last minute comments about Raw or any events that have taken place this past week in wrestling?
Did we miss anything tonight? I think this might be one of the only times I have something non WWE related. As we are taping just a few minutes ago, Venezuela is your World Baseball Classic champions.
Get out of here.
Unfortunately, at a big underdog, they ended up winning 3-2 with a ninth inning RBI.
Boston Red Sox player Wilyer Abreu went yard tonight for Venezuela. Good for him. Let me
Yep.
tell you something. In the World Baseball Classic, various Boston Red Sox players have made more noise than any other MLB baseball player involved in this World Baseball Classic. Weiser for Italy had great showing. And then we had Brian Bayo, who pitched very well for Dominican Republic. We had Jaron Duran. He had a game in Mexico. He went homer twice. William Abreu was hot. He had a couple of games with the home run. Roman Anthony for Team USA. He's basically helped USA to get into this game with a game-winning home run the other night.
Yep.
I already mentioned Weisert, Garrett Whitlock, who's our middle relief man. Various Boston Red Sox players made a lot of headlines. I'm excited for the baseball season coming up. I think the Red Sox are going to be a better team than anybody's given credit for right now. And the World Baseball Classic kind of showed that with various Red Sox players stepping up. But Wilyer Abreu stepped up huge for Venezuela tonight.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm looking at, you also get Wilson Contreras and Ranger Suarez. So 3 Venezuelan players, all on Boston Red Sox, and all are now champions for the Baseball Classic.
Unbelievable, yeah. Did you see that throwout that Aaron Judge had the other night, throwing out Tatis?
The fact he did that twice in the same Classic is crazy.
Tatis got hosed there.
Yep. And then he could have went to third on a different play, but he was afraid and had to stay at second. That could have been all the difference.
Unbelievable. But
Well,
yeah,
all for naught now.
2 more weeks till baseball season starts, and I am excited. I cannot wait. We open up our season against Cincinnati Reds away. Unfortunately, I unfortunately will not have any time to go to a Red Sox home opener this year. I've been wanting to go to a Red Sox home opener for a very long time. Have not been to a home opener yet, but one day we will.
Have I ever went to a Yankees opener? I don't think I've went to a Yankees opener or a Mets opener. I'm a Yankees fan myself. Is actually, now that we talk about it, I've had the Yankees pillow almost every day that we've recorded before. So
Nice.
I don't think I've been to an opening day. I'll see if maybe there's tickets that aren't an arm and a leg for this opening day or weekend or week, whenever they're playing. But yeah, I think you, sir, have a little bit more exciting events to head off to in April, but an opening day.
Oh my gosh, 28 days until a WrestleMania vacation starts. 31 days until WrestleMania. I'm going to be going to concerts. I'm going to be going to the Hoover Dam. I'm going to be going to Zion Park. Possibly, maybe even go to the Grand Canyon, which is only 2 hours away. There's a lot. We're going to have a dinner night. We're going to have Carmine's in Vegas. And so one of the nights is a concert at the Sphere. Yeah, this is going to be a blast. This is going to be a vacation like none other. And yeah, so hopefully some good pool days in between. So I cannot wait. This is going to be epic and probably my favorite WrestleMania vacation of all time if I had to guess, just because of geographics.
Nah, that sounds fun as all hell and a bunch to do. So, but definitely talk more about your WrestleMania trip coming up.
Oh,
It's
yes.
good,
Every
a month
week we're
away.
talking about it. For those of you guys that are watching, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. Let us know what you guys thought of Monday Night Raw. We will be back this week for Friday's Top 5. And next week we will be discussing Monday Night Raw. An AEW post-show Dynamite coming up soon. One of the next 1 or 2 weeks or so. A lot of different things. So make sure you hit that subscribe button to get some content that we have some brewing. And those of you guys that are watching, Brandon, thank you so much for hopping on. And you guys all have a good night. Are we over?
Maybe. Pass. I think we're still
We
live.
ain't over.
Agility from the champion. Uh-oh! Oh, 10-6! That could be a delivery.